Welcome to Good Horses, Stories of the American Quarter Horse. I'm Jim Jennings.
And I'm Bobby Loran. We're excited to bring you the stories of the horses that have made a lasting impact on some of the most legendary figures in the quarter horse industry. Each episode, we'll hear about the horses that challenged them, taught them, and left a special mark on their lives.
From remarkable lessons to unforgettable rides, these are the stories that celebrate the heart, soul, and horsepower of the American quarter horse.
This episode is brought to you by Tres Osos Performance Horses, our proud title sponsor and a name you'll hear a lot more of if you're serious about great horses. Tres Osos is a partnership between Linda Mars, Dave Mize, and Paula Gentry, grounded in 35 years of friendship and a shared passion for producing performance horses with purpose. Their mares include standout names like NRCHA Million Dollar Mare Shine Smarter and proven producer Missy Jones, but every mare in the program is making her mark. What sets Tres Osos apart? They're not just chasing wins in the show pen, they're building versatile horses that last, and that owners come back for again and again. From today's top performance lines to traditional ranch and running bloodlines, they're committed to smart, selective crosses that bring fresh strength to the gene pool, all while keeping prices fair. And don't miss their two powerhouse stallions, Hazardous Material, the 2024 NRCHA World's Greatest Horseman winner with Erin Taormino, and Travelin' Jones, who now has over $1.3 million in progeny earnings. Both bring big-time talent with the bloodlines to back it up. We're proud to have Tres Osos Performance Horses on board, and you can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Tres Osos Performance Horses. Now, let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the Good Horses podcast. I'm Bobby Loran, and I'm here with Becky Newell. Today, we're so excited to be speaking with Erin Taormino, a powerhouse in the industry who has made a huge impact by being named the first woman in history to ever win the world's greatest horseman title. We're so excited to talk about the horses that have shaped her career and what it's like to be a trailblazer in the industry. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. So just tell us about this win, the world's greatest horseman's win, and has it sunken in yet?
I think it's kind of sunk in, but it still seems so surreal. It's amazing. You know, I think back, it was just a few days ago, but it seemed at the start of World's Greatest, you know, there's 4 events and it just seems like such a feat to get to the finals. And then from the finals forward, that day, I think we were talking about it earlier. I said it's such a long day, but yet it happens so fast, you know, and it just seems it's unbelievable. I'm so thankful for everything that happened for me that day and Hazardous Material. It is really unbelievable.
Yeah. Tell us about the steer roping. I mean, you came in learning this and you had some help, right? From your friend, Jackie Crawford?
Yes, Jackie Crawford. She's one of my closest friends. And she's the reason why she forced me, like kept pushing me. You know, I said, I kind of wanted to do it. And she was like, you have to do it. And I was so I don't know what the right word is, but I was so shy or you know, I just held back because I mean, I'd never done it. I didn't do it growing up. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, man, there's no way I can. She's like, just try it. And I was like, well, and one thing led to another. And here we are. And it, to get that score that night, I mean, that was like the absolute highlight of my night. I was so happy when that steer stopping was done. I was like, heck yes. Now we can go horse show.
Yeah.
So it was pretty amazing.
Had you roped much before working with Jackie?
No.
How did that come about?
No, not at all. I mean, kind of messing around, but I mean, I would say absolutely not really at all. No. I met Jackie Crawford at the Cowgirl Hall of Fame with Billy Bray introduced us. Okay. We sat at the same table and I met her when I was pregnant with my son. And we pretty much became immediate friends. And Jackie actually sent me a video the other day, the first time I ever really seriously roped. And I was roping the dummy at Ken and B's house. And I was like, oh, wow, it's really terrible.
You've come a long way.
Yeah, I sent her back and I'm like, why would you send that to me? She goes, because it's amazing. And I was like, it is horrible. But it was, we've had a blast. And yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for her pushing me, I don't know that I would have really kept moving forward. And I mean, I'm probably a little bit stubborn and hard-headed, so I probably would have, but to have a coach like Jackie.
She's amazing.
Yeah. I'm pretty lucky.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So Hazardous Material, it feels like you've had him a while.
Mhm.
I haven't looked at the record to understand how much time you've shown him, but how did you come to have him?
So a good friend of mine, Travis Stewart, started him, and I purchased him for Miss Linda late in his 2-year-old year, probably like I would say November, December of his 2-year-old year. I purchased him, so we've been together his whole show career, and he's 9 now. So.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Had he roped much?
Mm-mm.
Really? So this was the first time for him
No.
too.
So I had some help, some friends help me. The first year I showed him a little bit, but I basically did it all myself. And that's a true testament to what kind of animal he is, because if he was so good for me. And there was little things, that obviously we needed to fix after the first year. But I mean, that horse is such an incredible animal. He basically just he was as green as I was, but he was he was so great. And then this next year, I was like, man, I need to, I'm going to use him again. He feels great. And so I sent him to Jackie in October while we were at the Snaffle Bit Fraternity, and I'd say she had him for like 3 weeks to a month.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, Jackie, like, can you just take him and rope on him and just do what you do and make him great, okay? Because I'm not a rope horse trainer, and he needs someone that really can do him justice.
Yes.
I was trying to work on myself, and I didn't feel like I could do him, on top of that, And so I'm like, there's so much to it that I appreciated, but I had no clue until we dove off into it what all there was, and I took him for granted because he is such a great horse, and so he just kind of goes with the flow. And so thankfully for me, he's like that, because I was trying to learn to rope, and then he was just like, okay, whatever, lady, like, let's rock, But Jackie did an amazing job. And then Jackie kind of started getting on the road this fall more with rodeos and stuff. And so actually Tate Kirchenschlager, he became like coach number 2, and he helped me even more with him as far as me making him operate out of the box and all the things. And so, like, without those two, I mean, they made it happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
And it takes a real special horse to be able to do those events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And in that horse's mind, he stayed so good the whole time. I mean, he felt even better this year than last year, which is amazing for a horse that's been shown, for a 9-year-old stud that's been shown as much as he has. I mean, just when I think he can't get better, I think he does.
Yeah. So as a stud, when you compete on him, is he pretty well-minded, or is he like?
No, he's amazing. He honest to goodness is, he's so laid back, and he's just like, he's honestly one of the best minded studs I've been around. He's so chill. Yeah.
He likes to go to work.
He does. He loves his
does.
job. Yeah. I galloped him around yesterday in the arena. Just for fun. The girls brought him out. They were just walking and jogging him, and I got on him, and he was just as happy as could be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't believe he's 9 and you're showing him and things like that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I'm pretty excited.
The dream team. Awesome.
How did you come to meet Linda Mars, who owns Hazardous Material?
I run into them at a horse show. Perfect. I was walking out of the John Justin Sale Arena, and I run into Miss Linda and Dave. Yeah, and we started having a conversation, and they were like, "Well, hey, we have a horse. Would you want to ride it?" And I was like, "Yeah." It obviously wasn't him, but I was like, "Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would love to." And one thing led to another, and then when I ran across Skeer, they said they were possibly looking for a fraternity prospect, and I ran across them, and so I called them, and
then the rest is
that's
history.
The rest is history. Yeah, so that's it was really that simple. I walked out of the John Justin Sale Arena, and there they were.
Crazy.
And yeah, they introduced themselves, and we had a conversation, and
Divine intervention.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So how long has Skeeter been breeding, and do you have any of his babies?
So I have a 4-year-old right now, and that was his first one to show. And then I don't think there are any 3-year-olds, and then there's a decent amount of 2-year-olds, I think. So, a few years, not a long time. His first full crop would be 4 right now, but there's only one.
Right.
So it's a minimal.
Yes. Yes. Not a lot to get your arms around.
No.
Good.
But yeah, and I think he's obviously done quite a few more recently.
Oh, yeah.
Most recently.
Most recently.
Like maybe this week.
last 7 days.
Oh, that's incredible. Awesome.
When you found Skeer, what was it about Skeer that you were like,
Yeah.
I want this horse, and you went to them and wanted them to buy him? What was it about him?
So Travis called me and he said, "Hey, Erin, I got this 2-year-old stud. I really think you need to try him." And he said, Justin Wright has a half brother out of the same mare, and he said it's a really nice horse. And he goes, this one's by Metallic Cat. He's like, but I really think you should come look at him. He's not very big, but he's pretty talented. He's like, he's got a ton of stop. And I was like, okay. So the first time I went and looked at him, honestly, he was like really stutty and kind of ugly, and he had a really skinny tail. And I was like, he's cute. But I rode him, and he loped amazing. He just loped off, and he was barefoot, and anywhere you asked him to stop, I mean, he stopped so hard. I was like, wow, and I was like, okay, well, I'll think about it. And then a couple other people came and tried him, and Trav's like, Erin, I really think you need to try him again. And this was probably fast forward 2 months, probably, or 3 months. And I was like, okay. So I went and rode him. I'm like, I got to have him. Like he changed a ton, and he kind of grown up. And I was like, yeah, I gotta have him. So I think I rode him 2 or 3 times before I bought him. But probably the thing that like really sold me on him was his ability. He loped so pretty, and he stopped so hard every time, and he just felt like the right kind. I'd just roll him back in the fence, and he just was soft, and yeah, he felt pretty incredible when you were on his back. I mean, when the first time I looked at him, I was like, I don't know.
I think
It's not love at first sight.
Yeah. It's a common misconception that they're all pretty right away.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. I mean, he absolutely, I mean, he's a really, really pretty horse, but he was in this awkward 2-year-old phase,
Yes.
and they all have that. And I was just kind of like, oh, he's cool.
Like a high school freshman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
none of the parts match. I mean, they're just a little awkward.
And then as soon as you swung a leg over him, though, I was like, oh my God, like this feels like he felt like a big horse underneath you. And he really wasn't a big horse at the time.
Yeah.
So then what was your kind of journey with him? So then you got him. So then, I mean, you have obviously done a lot with him prior to World's Greatest Horseman. What was that journey kind of like?
When I got him, he was not a walk in the park to train. Like, he made you horse train him, but every time he got something, he got better and better. And he was by far the best snaffle bitter I had going into the snaffle bit futurity. And he tripped in his small slow, and they got him for a break a gate at the snaffle bit. And he missed the finals. Yeah, I didn't even make the intermediate finals on him. I was heartbroken. I was like, this can't be. Like, he was the best one I had ever going into the Snaffle Bit 30. I was so excited. And so that was really heartbreaking. But actually, Todd came up to me and he told me, he's like, Erin, look, he's like, it's just the first show of their career. He's like, don't sweat it. He's like, smart luck. I mean, Todd made the finals on smart luck, but he's like, he fell on me in the fence work. And he's like, I didn't win hardly anything on him. He's like, their life, like their show career is not over after the Snaffle Bit futurity. And he was right. That horse just got better and better every time I'd walk in the show pen on him after that. And yeah, he just continued to accelerate.
Man.
But it took a minute.
Yeah.
The Snaffle Bit futurity was hard to swallow.
That would be hard. Hard to get by.
Yeah, I was like, it was a long time from October to March of the next year.
But again, knowing what you knew at the time, that he just was going to get better, and that had to be a bonus.
It was. I could feel it in him, but you put that pressure on yourself too, that you have this great horse. And when you don't have the show you want, you have to mind over matter that you still have a great horse, and that it's going to be okay the next time you walk in that show pen. But yeah, I dwelled on that for a minute.
Not a stop sign, just a guideline. That's all it was. Set you up for something really great.
Yes.
So let's back up and talk about your upbringing and just the horses that shaped your career and got you to where you are today.
I grew up in a small town, Grenfell, Saskatchewan, Canada, on a grain farm actually, and I did horses for fun. I mean, I did the 4-H, light horse, the open shows. Nothing really serious. But I was horse crazy from the beginning, and I think my first horse was a little gray pony named Flicka. Of course, no idea what Flicka was, but she was a gray pony. That's all I know about her. She was pretty awesome, but she was a typical pony. I probably walked home more than I rode home on her. She was very sassy. But she taught me a lot, and she was one that I come home from school and I just jump on her bareback and take off. And yeah, she was great. She was the first one, my first horse. So
yeah, you said you started off in 4-H. What did you do? Did you horse show, horse judge?
No, just horse shows. Did I think it was called light horse.
Okay.
Then I don't know what they would call it now, but it was light horse. And so you would take your horse and we would all meet it at someone's house. I can't remember how often we would do that. And then we would have your achievement day, and you would do all the things on the same horse. And so that was my start.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It all. That's exciting.
We all had our start in 4-H, I feel.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's a great way to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great memories.
So as you look back on your career, is there just a horse that you'd call a true once-in-a-lifetime horse that is truly unforgettable?
Oh, man. I feel like I've been really lucky and I've had a few. Probably the one that comes to mind that I would say he probably taught me the most. He was a big I bought him from a PMU production sale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at home they had PMU lines, and I bought him as a yearling, and he was really, really ugly and really cheap. And
Perfect.
And his name was Red, and he grew up to be he was the first horse that I started, and he was amazing. I did the light horse stuff with him. I did open shows with him. And I did all the work on him, and he was seriously like he was a saint. He never. I mean, I think the first time I rode him, I put a halter on him and jumped on him bareback.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, yeah, out in the open. I mean, he was such a good-minded horse, and I think he gave me the confidence. And even though there was probably, we all know that they're not all like that, but he gave me the confidence to just learn, and anything I asked him to do, he was such a good-minded horse. He's probably, honestly, I think he would be the one that stands out the most that nobody ever knows about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The foundation for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then you grew up or as you grew into the horses, you began showing open shows.
Yes.
You ended up at Congress, the All-American Quarter Horse Congress, where the biggest quarter horse show
Yes.
ever.
Yes. After Red, near the end of my high school career, I got a all-around horse, Joe. He was a dynamic deluxe gelding, actually, and I started showing the all-around with him, and I went from open shows to the AQHA shows. I rode with a trainer in Alberta, Jess Hartung, and after I graduated high school, I finished out my youth career with him, but I did the Canadian Nationals. We showed down south, so we showed in North Dakota, South Dakota. We did the summer run down there. Went to the Congress 2 years and actually did unbelievably well for not doing it a ton. We had amazing. I think I ended up in the top 10 in the all around, and I think third in the showmanship. And so I mean, like, good. Yeah, good stuff. He was a great horse too, and I ended up selling him my last year youth at the Congress.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Very
he was
cool.
fun.
So you mentioned he was a gelding, and of course, Hazardous Materials is a stud. I mean, is there a different training approach that you take to handling studs, geldings, mares?
For a long time, I seemed my how I did stuff seemed to fit studs and geldings better. but lately I've been getting more mares, and I actually really like them. You kind of have to adapt and mold to their personalities, but I have some really, really great mares that I really like now. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what happened with this switch for moving from the all-around stuff, showmanship, Western pleasure, Western horsemanship, all of those things, to you're riding cow horse now?
So I sold my youth horse at the Congress, and I'd met some people down there that said, well, come to the States and ride, and they were pleasure people, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And so I did that. I came down here, and I actually had purchased another project, all around horse, and that deal, it just didn't work out. I learned a ton. I met a lot of amazing people, but it just didn't fit. Well, I was in Pilot Point, Texas, and I was young, and I was like, man, I'm not ready to go home. I love Texas. I'd met some great people. And so I went, and I was staying at a friend's house, and I was just riding random horses like to pay for a room at their place. And one thing led to another. She's like, hey, Del Bell is at Babcock Ranch, and he needs someone to lope some cutters. And I'm like, well, how hard can that be? I can lope. So I went there, and I worked for Del briefly. And at that same time, Ron Rawls was at Babcock Ranch, and I met Ronnie, and he kind of took me under his wing, and I had a string of horses at Babcock that I would ride and stuff, and he would help me with them. And I mean, I had no idea what I was doing. I could ride, but I had no idea what the cow horse. I had no idea what the cutting was. Let's be real. I just rode some colts, and Ronnie took me under his wing, and he was amazing. I fell in love with it. And then when Ron left Babcock's, my husband now and I went with him and went to their place, and that was seriously the first time I'd ever had anything to do with a cow horse, and I just kind of fell in love with it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I worked for Ron for 4 years and learned a ton. I don't think I ever showed with Ron, but I worked for him for 4 years. And yeah, that's how I made the switch. And once I started, there was no going back to the all around. No, I got a taste for it, and I was like, yeah, this is where I need to be.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to horse health, a strong foundation matters. That's why professionals like Erin trust Platinum Performance CJ as their go-to wellness formula. Originally developed by an equine veterinarian in 1996, Platinum Performance was designed to support horses from the inside out. Every scoop delivers decades of research and top-tier ingredients like omega-3s, antioxidants, trace minerals, vitamins, and more to support everything from gut health to joint function. Platinum CJ goes even further, combining full-body wellness with powerful joint support, including glucosamine, MSM, hyaluronic acid, and ASU. Whether you've got a high-performance athlete or a treasured senior, it covers all the bases. Bonus, it's eligible for platinum colic coverage, up to $15,000 in colic surgery reimbursement. To learn more, call 800-553-2400 or visit platinumperformance.com.
So how long did it take you to be comfortable going down the fence?
Right.
I think the first time I really went down the fence was probably at Todd's.
Okay.
Like I had I think, Ronnie probably let me do it a little bit, but I don't remember. Ronnie was so amazing, and he got me so much of the foundation, on the young horses. But then Todd is the one that the first time I went down the fence was at Todd's, and it was actually, I still remember it. It was pretty comical. He told me what to do, and then he's just go down there and just widen out and just let the horse turn. And I was like, okay. And I went down there, and I got wider and wider and wider. And he's like, not that wide. You gotta stay with the cow. And I was like, oh. Why didn't you say so? But it took a minute, but then the speed never scared me or anything like that. So I would say, as far as that goes, I never had an anxiety about speed, or it was just getting comfortable with just going and doing it.
Yeah.
But as far as, being worried about anything, or, none of that bothered me. I just went down the fence.
Fearless.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
That
know,
is cool.
that is neat.
Yeah.
So as far as like building trust with these horses that you ride, I mean, do you just take it all by storm and just run down the fence with them, or like what's your process for building that connection with them?
I've had a lot of really great people that have helped me with that because there's so much to it in building the confidence because when you add speed, it changes everything. And probably two of the people that helped me after Todd's would be Doug Williamson and Don Murphy. Both of them,
The best.
yeah, both of them helped me a lot with just understanding things, and obviously the more speed you add, the more you run into different situations. And so I would say those two kind of help mold my program. And then along the way, I mean, just with the whole, I feel like as your program adapts and as you get farther into it, you come across people that fit you and fit your style. And it's kind of a learning curve of who you take information from, and you find out how you mesh with different trainers and different programs and different advice, and it's all about how you take it and apply it to your program, but not completely change your program. But I mean, honestly, with the cow horse as a whole, I mean, I've had some pretty great mentors early on. It was definitely Doug Williamson and Don Murphy that I feel like helped shape and adapt and mold. And then, as you go on and the deeper you get into it, you run across other trainers. I mean, and Corey Cushing and Boyd Rice. I mean, those are two of my closest friends, and we bounce ideas off each other all the time. And I mean, Todd Bergen, 100%. I mean, my program is what it is today because of him. I mean, he spent 5 years, molding me and letting me hang myself and then reeling me back in, and I feel like that's the best way to learn, because if you don't make those mistakes and then have someone say, hey, well, try this, I mean, you don't learn as much. And so, I mean, those guys, they've helped shape my program to what it is today, without a doubt.
Some really good ones.
Yeah. And I mean, along the way, my husband has worked with me hand in hand the whole time. And so I'm very lucky to have him day in and day out bounce ideas off. He watches, he sees so much, and I can be like, hey, what did that in? And without having, I feel like that person in your corner, it might even be harder than what it is.
Right. That's a good point.
Very true.
Now, you spent time also with Gardeners
Yes.
and Stewart Ranch.
Yes.
Was that as a trainer there for their facility, or were you basically shadowing, learning, apprenticing?
When we left Todd Bergen's, we went to be trainers at Gardner Quarter Horses. And we were there for a little over a year, I guess. It was probably like a year and a half, I think, something like that. And then from there, we went solely out on our own at Stewart Ranch. And Miss Terry Force, she was amazing. She
is awesome.
She's what allowed us to get this place. She opened her doors to us and her home, and they treated us like family and gave us all the opportunity to start our own business. Because when you go from being an assistant, we were lucky enough to have Gardner Quarter Horses as a stepping stone, because they let us get our feet on the ground and get a feel for things while we were still trying to find our way out from being an assistant trainer. And I mean, as much as we felt like we prepared ourselves at Todd's, because Todd was, we were there for 5 years, and he was so great about teaching us to run, not just train horses, but run a business, right? And has one of the most successful businesses I have seen in the horse industry. But when you still take that step away, it is a struggle with the clients, with the horsepower, trying to step in the show pen on something that keeps you relevant and keeps you moving forward. So Terry, the opportunity that she gave us to start our business at her place and not have to worry about a barn, an arena, a house, I feel like was a huge positive in our in my career, to where we were able to get this place, because we were able to establish a business at someone else's ranch, using their facility, and then in turn build our clientele, build the business, and then it made this seem seamless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always growing pains, but going from Terry's to here made it very, very seamless and really pretty easy.
Yeah.
In an industry that is not easy.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And you know, it is a male dominated industry.
Yes. Yes.
And Terry is a good model, role model, mentor. And
Absolutely.
we've seen that with a young lady she mentored out of Art of the Cowgirl and their apprenticeship. So yeah, I mean, it's not just about riding a horse or breeding a horse or running a ranch. I mean, there's a lot.
Correct.
And it's the business part that a lot of people don't see.
Yes. Yeah. She has trailblazed for so many people and given so many people the opportunity, and myself and my husband are no different what she did for us. So very, very incredible person.
That's cool.
Right.
Really cool.
Yeah. So, Terry's a role model. You're a role model now. You've got a lot of young women looking up to you in the industry. Do you have any advice for them to get on that level that you are and just chase their dreams?
Oh, man. I don't know. I've been asked this question so many times, and I feel like I never really truly do it justice. For me, you have dreams and you have goals when you're an assistant or when you're young, but I never fathomed that it would get to this spot. But I do know that I never took no for an answer, and there was definite hard days, and there's so many tears and such long days. But I never took no for an answer, and when I didn't think I could work hard, I worked harder, and I just kept my head down, and no matter what, I did my job, and I just kept pushing forward, and very truly, I listened to my gut. Like, I didn't want to quit. I wanted to be at the top. I wanted to have sponsors. I wanted to have great clients. I wanted to have great horses. I wanted to have a place of my own, and I didn't really let anything stop me or slow me down. I just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anything I needed to do to make that happen, whether I had to buy my own show horse, I did that too.
Yes.
When I understand now being a business owner and having this, a lot of times people don't send horses for your assistants to show,
Right.
And so I was like, well, that's fine. I'll take care of that myself. I'll just go buy my own horse and train it. I mean, I'm working for Todd Bergen. Surely he can help me. And if I run into a problem, I'll just ask him, and I own it, so I control what I do. And he was so great on that. He did support me. He hauled her to the shows. He let me show her. And so I was able to keep walking in that show pen, even if he wasn't able to have anything for me, which happens. I respect that. It's part of it. I controlled that and did that myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my girls too when they're here. I'm like, you can have a horse and I'll help you with it and ride it. I may not always have something for you to show, but if you have one that you want to go show, we'll try to make it happen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. I love it. Paying it forward for the future generations.
Yeah.
Having kids, I mean, that takes a lot of your time. How do you balance that, going down the road to shows, getting these horses shown, getting them ridden, and what is that like?
I'm really lucky. My husband's amazing. He does a lot. But it's I stress a little bit about it because I don't want to not be present. And it's hard when you're a mom and you're torn, because this is my job and this is my career. And I have horses and clients that depend on me to go do that job. So for me, what gives me peace of mind is actually having Anthony, that is so amazing. I mean, he's there for West. He takes him to the baseball practices that I can't go to, or the baseball games that I can't go to. When I am home, I won't miss a ball game or anything like that. So, and he understands. Wesley's he's wild, but he understands. And fortunately for me, he does love the horse shows, and he loves riding. And so when he's there, anytime he wants to ride, he's I mean, he's pretty lucky. He's got a couple pretty good horses that are available and ready. So, but the balance
Lucky
can,
duck.
yeah, the balance can be a struggle, and it can wear on your mom heartstrings a little bit, when you have to miss that stuff because Jackie and I've talked a lot about it, but being a woman in this industry, it is hard when you're a woman in an industry that is so demanding, but you want to be a mom too. So you have to be okay with finding that balance, and they're resilient. They adapt and they learn to love it too.
And they don't know any different.
They
really.
don't know any different.
No.
He loves horse shows. So.
What was his reaction to you winning the world's greatest?
I think he said to me, he goes, "Mama, what did you win?"
Oh,
he didn't know. And then he was like, and then his biggest thing was he was sitting. Actually, we have a great picture. He's sitting on Skeer holding up the check.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, he was really excited. But I think he's like, "So, Mama, what did you win?" I was like, "World's greatest horsewoman or horseman." And he's like, "So you're a world's greatest horseman?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay, cool." And then like off he went.
Like he already knew.
No, he's pretty funny. He was excited, but he was like, "Okay, this is awesome."
Yeah.
And we're gonna move on.
I see a pile of dirt. I need to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. He was looking for his friends. It's that part that I love though, because they're so innocent and so just like they love you no matter what. Yeah.
And you're comfortable knowing that he's making friends with the kids of the guys you're showing with or against.
Yes.
That you're training up the next grade.
It's the youth kids that are around there. He hangs. There's a lot of them that are older, and they're so amazing with him. They let him hang out and run, and they have the best time together. I wouldn't want it to be any different.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's cool. Way cool.
So going back to your NRCHA career and just the horses that propelled you in that time of your life, I mean, who are some of the horses that come to mind, like when you think of the ones that really shaped you of who you are today?
So I've thought about this. Probably the first one is Cutting Right Up. He was my first open finalist, and that he's still going. Brandon Butter showed him at World's Greatest. I mean, he was a great horse. Plain Right, I was reserve at the snaffle bit on him. And I mean, he was a challenging horse, but he definitely gave you that confidence that anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I had a family of horses that had been really, they've been in my life. It was Bet on Boone, Pepto's Last Bet, and Bad to the Boone. Those three geldings are all by Pepto Boonsmall and out of the same mare. And they've all been instrumental. I mean, Bet on Boone was my first one, and I made finals on him, and he now I think lives a really happy life in a green pasture. And then I still have Pepto's Last Bet. I showed him a bunch, and now he's my son's horse.
Aww.
Yeah, and he's just a saint. He's the best. He's my practice rope horse. That I can back him in the box as many times and just keep going, and he's amazing. And then Bad to the Boone, he's still going strong. He's my next in line for World's Greatest. Wow. Yeah, it's been a great family line for me, and those three horses I would say have been like a huge part of my program.
Yeah. What traits did they have that you liked the most?
They just honestly probably the absolute. I mean, they're very talented horses, obviously. But every time, all three of them, when you walk in that show pen, they literally were the best show horses. They gave you everything they had. They never threw anything crazy at you. They just, every time they walk through those gates, they're like, all right, let's go, And honestly, all three of them were the exact same.
Wow.
As far as that goes. They were show horses to the core.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So you mentioned that you had a few tough horses that you kind of had to figure out and work through. So just kind of walk us through what it was like figuring out those challenges and really overcoming them.
Those horses I feel like kind of also shape your program and maybe get you to where you trust the process of your training, because they might, a couple of those Plain Right was actually one of them. He was, I mean, I was reserved at the snaffle bit on him, but he was a really tough horse to get shown. And it seemed like every time I walked in the pen, he would do something a little different. He was a great horse, but he was very, very challenging. And they just, those type of horses make you step outside your box, make you think outside the box, maybe do something you can't train them. It made me realize that you can't train them. They're not all cookie cutter,
No,
right? And
right.
you have to try different things and see, it was kind of a trial and error, try different things and see what the results get you, and especially see what they get you when you walk in the show pen.
Yeah. Because that changes everything.
Everything.
It's the lights and the people and the noise and
Yeah.
And they react differently all the way around.
Yeah. And, you just got to bring out that natural talent and you just got to work through it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a true testament to your horsemanship and your skill. Try not to fangirl. Keep it together. Man. So when we ask our guests, to come on the podcast, we always hit them with this really loaded question. So I was going to ask.
Get ready.
Yeah. So Erin, what to you constitutes a good horse?
For me, what constitutes a good horse is one that no matter what, I feel like when you walk through those arena gates, no matter what the practice was like, or no matter what, the preparation was, that they are with you 100%, that their minds are with you. And even if they maybe are not the most talented horse in the barn, they give you everything they have.
Yeah. Those are the most special horses. And man, as you look back just on your career and even from your childhood, is there one special horse that you wish you could go back in time and ride, that one good horse you could have some more time with?
Probably Red. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty special.
Oh.
Yeah. They teach us so much and gosh, help us to be who we are today. And I mean, with you, you wouldn't be who you are without those good horses in your life.
They shape your career for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's very special.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, a big thanks again to our title sponsor, Tres Osos Performance Horses, where thoughtful breeding meets real-world results. Whether you're hunting for your next champion or a solid horse that fits your needs, Tres Osos is building them with integrity, heart, and performance in mind. From legendary mares to proven sires, this team is committed to better horses and lasting partnerships. Don't forget to check out our two powerhouse stallions, Hazardous Material, the 2024 NRCHA World's Greatest Horseman winner with Erin Taormino, and Travelin' Jones, who has now over $1.3 million in progeny earnings, both bringing big-time talent with the bloodlines to back it up. Learn more about their program by visiting Tres Osos Performance Horses on Facebook and Instagram. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. To learn more about the horses we discussed in this episode, visit aqha.com/goodhorses. There you can explore the pedigrees, performance achievements, breeding history, and much more. It's the perfect place to dig deeper and stay connected with the American Quarter Horse. Don't forget to subscribe for updates and follow AQHA on social media.